I think I've already said this before, but yeah, the best 75% low-profile mechanical keyboard got even better. I'm talking about the NuPhy Air75 V2, and this time, I don't think anyone can argue about it. Everything we wanted from the first version is now here, including better software, now supporting QMK and VIA, and with an improved wireless performance that is good enough even for competitive gaming. The design and construction were also improved with a more refined texture and a better frosted bottom case, not to mention the uniform colorway of all the components inside and out. And most importantly, at least for me, we now have a white variant. I'm excited to share the rest of my thoughts with you, so let's get into it. As usual, honest disclaimer, while NuPhy did send this as a review sample, this video is not paid and NuPhy will not see this video prior to release. Everything I will say in this video, how positive it may be, is my complete and honest opinion. But I gotta say, I'm slightly biased here because this is my favorite low-profile keyboard. With that out of the way, let's start with the unboxing experience. It's actually essentially the same, with the white outer sleeve, some branding and key specifications around, and with a main black box. Inside the box, we have the NuPhy Air75 V2 itself, nicely protected by a thin layer of plastic, the user manual and other paperwork, and under this compartment, we have a bunch of items. Inside this small box, we have some sample switches, the 2.4 GHz dongle, and a sort of dongle holder that you can clip on a cable. We also have a nice NuPhy branded wire switch and keycap puller, which is an improvement from what they were using in the past. Inside the box, we have some alternative keycaps for Windows OS, and of course, we have the braided USB Type-C cable for wired mode and charging. We also have the iconic NuPhy anime stickers, a Q&A paperwork, and the user manual that doubles as a poster when you flip it at the back. By the way, NuPhy also included a new Walnut mono wrist rest, which feels really nice and smooth. It has a subtle engraved logo right here and has 4 silicone rubber feet at the bottom. The quality of both the walnut wood itself and the finishing is really good. We even have some extra rubber feet here. The question is, do you even need a wrist rest on a low-profile keyboard like this? Well, it depends on each individual's preference. Personally, I think it's not that necessary, but I also understand that some people prefer to have this either for proper ergonomics, to protect their desk mat from sweat, or simply for aesthetics. Either way, at least we have this as an option. Now, while this keyboard is available with mainstream Gateron low-profile switches, you can also get this with NuPhy's own lineup of switches, and it's nice that they've included some samples here for us to try. However, while I appreciate that we have some alternative keycaps here, I wish they also included neutral colors for the Enter, Escape, and Spacebar keys for those who prefer a more minimalist two-tone colorway like myself. Now, out of the box, we also have a nice dust cover here, and at first look and touch, it looks quite familiar, yet different because of the new white colorway. It shares most of the design and construction of the first version, which I don't mind at all, and as you can tell, this white variant looks absolutely clean, well, except for the colored keycaps. Build quality seems pretty much the same with minimal flex and is made out of a combination of aluminum top cover and plastic bottom housing. It weighs around 609 grams. Looking up top, we have a standard 75% ANSI layout here with some of the nav cluster keys, dedicated arrow keys, function row up top, and alphanumeric keys with shorter keys on the right side to accommodate the arrow keys. We still have 2 LED linings on both sides for the connection mode, battery life, and OS modes. Looking at the front side, we can get a better view at the thinnest part of it, and then flipping it on the left side, you'll get an idea about its slight angle. The NuPhy Air series is still by far one of the thinnest keyboards out in the market. Looking at the back side, we still have dedicated switches for the OS modes and connection modes, and a USB Type-C port for charging and wired mode on the other side. Turning it all over at the bottom, one of the major changes here is that unlike the first version, which uses a magnetic stand, this new version now has 4 integrated flip-out stands, which is way better and more convenient than before. Another difference is that the new version now has a more translucent bottom case with a nice subtle gradient. Aside from that, we still have 4 thin rubber feet and the chrome badge at the top center. Another key upgrade here is in terms of the keycaps. We now have double-shot PBT keycaps compared to PBT die sub on the first version. With double-shot material, the legends are crispier and more vibrant while still maintaining the long-lasting texture of PBT plastic and thickness of around 1.2 to 1.3 mm. As for the switches, since what I have here is an early review sample, it has NuPhy Daisy switches, which are not on the switch options if you order the NuPhy Air75 V2 right now. Its counterpart is the NuPhy Cowberry, which is essentially an upgraded version of the NuPhy Daisy, with shortened 1.2mm pre-travel, specifically targeted towards gaming. I'll pop the specifications on the screen so that you can check it out. Now, the NuPhy Air75 V2 also features hot swappable sockets and is compatible with Gateron and NuPhy low-profile switches. Do note though that it's not compatible with some key low-profile switches such as Chalk, Ghost, and switches with similar pin orientation. As for the stabilizers, we still have a couple of silicone dampeners underneath the spacebar, and all the stabilizers are still substantially looped. The spacebar's design and construction are also intricate compared to regular low-profile spacebars. In terms of features and functionality, I won't mention them one by one like what I did in the past NuPhy videos to save you time. What's important here is that you can connect this up to 4 devices, 3 via Bluetooth and 1 via 2.4 GHz. You can also switch between Windows and Mac OS, all of which have a dedicated switch at the backside. The left side LED indicator is for connection mode and caps lock, while the right side is for battery life, sleep modes, and OS modes. In terms of lighting effects, we have 2 customizable zones here, the primary keyboard keys and the 2-side lighting. You can customize them separately via the onboard key combinations or through the VIA software. Now, before we move on to its performance and software support, let me share with you a proper sound test. In terms of NKRO performance, all modes, Bluetooth, 2.4 GHz, and wired mode support full NKRO, which means you can press as many keys as you want at the same time without conflicts. In terms of gaming performance, with the 1000Hz polling rate, an improved SoC and MCU chips, the wireless performance of the NuPhy Air75 V2, especially under 2.4 GHz mode, is good enough even for competitive FPS games. Although honestly, I still prefer wired mode just to have the least amount of latency. But for casual games, it's definitely reliable. And lastly, and probably the most impactful and significant upgrade here, is the QMK/VIA support. For the longest time, people have been complaining about the NuPhy console and its limitations. So having a proper QMK/VIA support makes key customization significantly better and easier. It's not as intuitive as most proprietary software, but once you get a grasp on how it works, it's really powerful. Alright, so to conclude, again, time and time again, I still think that the NuPhy Air series is the best low-profile mechanical keyboard when you consider its overall value in terms of design, build quality, sound quality, connectivity, features, and price. You'll be hard-pressed to find something that can compete with it head-to-head. The closest thing that I can think of is probably the Lo-Fi Flow, simply because of how good it sounds and feels, but connectivity and other features, the NuPhy Air75 V2 is still ahead of it in my honest opinion. Let me know in the comments below if you know something better than this when it comes to overall value. And there you have it guys, thank you for watching. Huge thanks to NuPhy for sending this in. Again, this is not paid. I just really love what NuPhy has produced when it comes to the low-profile keyboard market space. If you're interested, I'll put some links below. Now, if you don't fancy the stock keycaps of the NuPhy Air75 V2 and you want a more minimalist colorway, go ahead and watch my previous video by clicking this. Thank you for watching, subscribe if you appreciate this video, and see you next time. Have a great day guys, you're awesome.